let's see if now it's any better. It restarted and changes that. So hopefully it's not buffering for everyone. If it's still buffering, the YouTube upload will not have any buffering. So.
Alright, so yeah, let's get back into it. Hopefully it is better now. If not, we apologize, but oh well. we'll try and work on that later. Alright, so where did we leave off? So we got the new sound effects, so that's pretty cool. We got majority of the cards have unique sound effects when they come into play. So for example, dragons will have a roar. I mean, a lot of the roars do seem to be the same, but a lot of cards do have unique sounds, so that's pretty cool. So holding down right click to zoom in on a card will no longer loop the zoom effect, in and out. So that's just a small change. Filtering in sealed tournaments. Now this is a good change. This is a good change. So filtering in sealed tournaments no longer also filters the deck you are building. So now when you're wanting to filter the cards that you can pick from, you're not also getting rid of what you've currently put in the in your deck. So you can actually see what you've got, and that's not going to disappear every time you filter out a color, for example. So that's a good thing. I mean, that's something that was just a bug basically, because obviously that's not intended.
So yeah, I mean, I built a deck in Sealed the other day that was like 65 cards because I didn't do that, and I also had no resources for blue. So it's like a blood diamond deck with blue cards in it that had no resources for blue. It was horrible. I felt like such a jackass.
Yeah.
So now I'm glad I'm not going to be able to do that again.
You hope.
I can still do it.
Right. Anything's possible.
Anything is possible. All right, so on to the new cards. So first new card we've got is a wild card called Wrathwood Colossus.
Yep.
So if you want to bring that one up.
It's already up.
Oh, he's prepared. Look at this, guys. All right, so it's a 9 cost, 3 threshold. As I said, wild card. It has Crush and Steadfast, and when it enters play, you gain 9 health. And when it dies, it goes back to your hand. So I mean, it's very costly, but some pretty nice effects. It's very strong. It's got Crush and Steadfast. And with Wild's ramp abilities, it's probably you'll have to obviously build a deck with getting to 9 resources in mind. So what do you guys think?
I think it's okay. I mean, it's pretty good against bones and stuff like that. That Wild is not very good against, and it also has the when it does play 9 health, which is pretty good. So the only way to get rid of this card is countering it, or just having it removed from your hand with Inquisition. I will be really happy if instead of dies when it goes into graveyard, goes back to your hand. But that will be just way too strong. So.
Yeah, all of our faces are frozen, by the way. I don't know if you know that, Norby, but I'm making the dumbest face imaginable right now on that stream. But yeah, I think getting to 9 isn't like impossible. I mean, we do it with getting to Guardian all the time anyway, so it's not out of the ordinary, really. And gaining 9 life and getting a card that doesn't actually ever die is pretty insane. Especially with Crushing Steadfast on a 9/9.
Alright, so it's unfreezing our faces. So I think that's sorry to interrupt there, but I think it's because did you minimize the Skype?
Yeah, let me just minimize the Skype 1 second.
Thanks.
Yeah, because if you minimize it, it'll stop being able to capture it. Anyway, so
I make a lot of dumb
Phoenix,
faces, so it's making bad for me.
Phoenix, what do you think of the card?
I like the idea of the card. I think it's going to be playable as a 1-off or a 2-off in ramp decks, just for a little top heavy play. But I like the effect on it. I mean, anything that comes back to your hand's a great card, and then you get to replay it and you get more 9 more health. It's a good card. I don't know how many times you're going to see it per game, just because of the cost of it. But it's good to have in there, just top end.
The thing also is that I don't know if you know, but this card was changed. It didn't have this effect before. But I think it still has the Crush and Steadfast, but it will have an Arbiter effect. I think it was called that. It makes that only 1 troop could attack every turn and only 1 troop could block every turn. But I think
yes, I do recall.
I think this is way more powerful.
Yeah, because the other way they can just remove it.
Alrighty, so anyone else got anything to say? I think we've all said something. I think it's probably a bit too, for what it does, it's probably in terms of, but yeah, 9 is just a lot. I think it's going
not a lot of mana, but I mean,
it's going to be maybe a 1-off in a deck, but even then, it's still really hard to play. So anyway, next card.
Yeah,
We
maybe
got
just
Lil-
like Resurrection that you place just one in your deck, because again in life is pretty strong. So if you get it out, you get
Yeah.
it out, and if not, yeah, it's just one card. So
I don't know. I think for something for 9 that could just easily die to a murderers, or especially you're not going to ever be able to, like, if they've got a counter, then that's your whole turn gone at late in the game.
It dies to a murder, but it gains you 9 life and then goes back to your hand, and then gives you another 9 life and you play it the next turn. So it's not like it dying to a murder does anything, really.
Well, yeah, true. That's I forgot about the effect there, but yeah, it's still
It'd be
very
kind of
costly,
nice to
but-
pick it up with an Infernal Professor or something like that.
Yeah, maybe,
That'd be pretty nice.
but not
Get it down to a 7.
not if you. Nah, that would be really super risky if you did.
You
that
have to get
early
it
game.
like when you have 9.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, if you did that early game, you just shit.
Yeah.
All right, so let's go on to Lixel, the Deathless Gem. So it's been changed. So there she is. She's now a 3-cost, 1 threshold, 3/3. Now the bottom of the card's cut off there, but yeah, it's a 3/3. And so when she enters play, you choose a standard resource from among those currently in your deck. You then gain the threshold that resource provides. And if you have one of every threshold, then she'll be invincible. So I think this new iteration is not that great. I mean, later on in the game when they've got, you got Midnight Shepherd decks and they're a bit more... nice face, Mythic. That's awesome.
Yeah.
That is really
I
awesome.
don't know what it is, man.
Someone needs to screen capture that one. But yeah, I think when Midnight Shepherd decks and stuff, you'll see this in that deck. But other than that, it's not. I don't think too much of it. So what do you guys think? Start with you, Phoenix.
I'd say maybe the only way this gets played is in a tricolor deck, like a Triumvirate or a Aspirant Infinite Combo deck. Because you can get locked up. Trying to play 3 shards can be a little tricky. A 2 of and this could help you dig yourself out of that hole a little bit. But other than that, I don't think it's going to see much play yet.
Indomi?
I think it's okay. 3 costed 3/3. That just fixes your thresholds. I think it's okay. It's playable. You're not going to get the invincible effect like in most of the decks you play. But just 3/3 that fixes your thresholds. I think it's okay. And it's probably going to be some kind of play.
Sorry.
Go ahead, Mythic.
I love me some green, my wild diamond aggro decks, and the best thing you can do is turn 2 play her off of Howling Brave, then turn 4 you get to make sure your resources are fixed, so you can have either turn 2 Crash the Beast, and then turn 4 Pony, or like turn 3 this guy, then turn 4 Pony. Like it helps your resources, which is usually a problem with like the Blood Diamond aggro decks or the Wild Diamond aggro decks. Usually a little rough on the resources, so it really just fixes it for you and makes it so your deck runs a little smoother. And it has a 3/3 for 3, which is just a nice body by itself.
It's also important to note that it doesn't die to Persecute anymore, because there's no Persecute. So
yeah, that's
We'll get
a
to
good
that.
point.
We'll get to that.
What?
But yeah.
I didn't even see that.
Oh, spoiler alert!
yeah,
Wop,
no,
wop.
but what I mean is that it maybe see play also in Blood Diamond Control or something like that, which is really threshold greedy.
Yeah, definitely.
It's a blocker that is okay. So.
Yeah.
Well,
That is a
I
good
think
point,
it's better than Blood Diamond aggro decks. Like, if you look at the decks that a lot of people ran at last tournament with, like, what's his face? Paladin. So it's like turn 2 you need double diamond, turn 3 you need double blood. So like you can't always get that, and this helps you fix it. And it's a body, so that's the important part. It's the body that fixes your resources. So you don't have to even have to play Shards of Fate anymore. Really, you can play this guy over Shards of Fate, which then helps you get your charge power. I mean, when you're playing the aggro,
I mean, you got to remember though, she is unique still. So you wouldn't really want to run 4 of her. You'd run maybe 2, maybe 3. Probably 3, I would say. You wouldn't really want to do 4. But yeah, I mean, the resource fixing is good, is good, but and getting a 3/3 for 3 is fine, obviously. Yeah.
Maybe I'm just thinking the Blood Diamond deck I've been running just 2 Shards of Fate to like sort of fix my thresholds a little bit, because it's not really that intensive on the thresholds, but I mean, I'd play her over those anyway. That'd just be better most times.
Yeah.
Could be wrong, but whatever. Who knows?
Sounds good. All right. So next card, if you want to bring that up, Indomi, is the adaptable infusion device. So this card, some people found this in their collections last time, but it wasn't actually able to be played yet because
Oh,
it was
you could play
accidentally.
it.
Yeah, you could play. You had to play 64 cards to play it though.
Yeah.
It didn't count as a card. You had to play 64 cards to get it in the deck.
Yeah, Mantic
Oh,
does that
okay.
every time that some card is in play that way, and it always works. So if there's a
And
That's,
capacity
it always
behind,
drew another one.
yeah.
It was very
It's,
bugged, but it was there. It existed.
Fair enough. Alrighty. So yeah, I'll just read it out for everyone who's not familiar with it. It's a 1-cost artifact, and when it enters play, you get to pick a resource from your deck. Currently in your deck, and then you gain the threshold. So another, color fixing, and you can then later on, because it is just going to sit there on the board, which, will be good for things when you've got the, for example, there's the ruby. The dude, when he comes into play, he gets flying speed and +3 attack. You could have this sitting there, and then you could sacrifice it later on when it's no longer needed and get that card draw, which will cost 4. So it's not something you'll be doing super early, but that'll combo nicely with the troop I just mentioned. I forgot the troop's name, but yeah, it's a dwarf flying dude. Scrap holder, that's the one.
Scrap holder.
So Phoenix, what do you think?
Looks
You
good.
gonna run it?
Same premise as the previous troop we just looked at. I think it's going to be good in circumstances like for the scrap holder, but those, I mean, you don't really have threshold intensive cards in those kind of decks. Like scrap holder's
Yeah,
a single threshold, and a lot of the cards you run in those kind of decks are like Buccaneers and stuff like that. So I don't know. I mean, I guess you could throw this into a deck as opposed to, say some Shards of Fate or something like that, but I just don't know how effective it's going to be.
Yeah, I think tricolor is where it fits, obviously. So if you wanted to do some, cool tricolor stuff with it, then that's where you'll probably want to include it. So what do you guys think, Indomi?
I think it's not really good. No, it's not very good, unless you really need the threshold fixing. And the only thing that I think that is maybe okay is if you play something in the deck like Mantic was playing around yesterday, that you play the Ruby Prime of Intensity, that you just discard your card. So this way you have like cards on board that you can draw from them. But I think it's still not great, for example, in artifact decks, because you're not usually going to go to 4 like super easily. Due to that, most of the job is way cheaper, or you can make it cheaper with Technical Genius. So as an artifact, it's not as great for the artifact deck. This is just if you really need a threshold fixing for some kind of deck, like if you want to play the 5-color deck, that's okay. But another thing was on that I don't really like it. 4 is way too much to cycle.
So did my camera just shut off, or what's happened there?
Yeah.
It's off.
Yeah, it looks
I was
like
trying to put the dog out at the wrong angle.
Yeah, just don't know what happened there.
There we go.
So Mythic, anything to say?
I like it. I mean, if you're playing, I was trying to brew like some dungeon deck earlier on, before Alpha came out, and I mean, it's fun in that kind of deck where you're trying to get 3 thresholds, and late in game you can just use it to draw a card when you have nothing better to do with your resources. I mean, it's fine. It's a fine card, but it's nothing like to write a book about or anything.
Definitely not.
I judge my cards on how much I want to write a book about them.
Yeah, that would be a pretty shit book, to be honest. So next
Not very long.
card. Now, was this already in the game? I thought it was the Bone Warrior.
No, it's not. It wasn't already in the game.
Wasn't already in the game? Okay,
Not for me.
Fair enough.
May
I
have
think
been
you're
like
right. Yeah,
in
no,
the game, then took it out. Maybe. I don't
yeah,
know.
maybe. So pretty basic troop. It's a 2-cost, 2 blood threshold. So another 2 threshold blood card. But it's a undead. When it dies, it transforms into a pile of bones. And that pile of bones is basically, I'm just actually bringing that up, see if they've changed it at all.
Yeah.
So it's just a 0-1 troop that you can, wow, okay, so it has changed quite a bit, I think. Because now it's a 0-1, like still a troop basically, but it can't, it can't do anything. But it's still, it still sits there on the board, and you can pay 4 to transfer it back into a Bone Warrior. So you do that when you've got no other place possible. And
it hasn't changed. It's the same as it was before.
No, it's the same. Yeah.
really, it cost 4 before. Okay,
Yeah,
I thought it was
it's-
maybe cheaper.
No,
Fair
that's
enough.
That's why I never really thought it was that great. But I mean,
Yeah, I cannot bring Pile Bones because I thought it didn't change. So
Yeah, I mean, I don't think much of it, to be honest, because I think in all situations, what do you call it? The Shroom Shaw is probably better.
yeah.
Because you're guaranteed to get 3 blockers out of that. Like, sure, this you can transform it later in the game, but yeah, again, Shroom Shaw is 2 cost 1 threshold, so easier to get out. But yeah, maybe there'll be some sort of undead decks or something where you need it, because I mean there is good interactions with it. But I think the Shroom Shaw fits most of those roles by itself. So, yeah, anyway, what do you guys think, Phoenix?
I think you put it pretty nicely. I mean, it's going to be a troop that you play out to get an early blocker, and then once it's dead, you can use it to sacrifice for necessary sacrifice or anything like that. But like you said, probably Shumshaw is just better. And in most circumstances, having a battle hopper, a bunny on board, you have more things to do with a bunny hopper than you can with a 0-1 pile of bones. So I just think Shroomshaw is a better choice right now, threshold wise and every other way.
Yeah, Indomi?
there's a big difference with this card and Shroomstraw, and that is that this card gives buffs when it dies, and the Shroomstraw does not. If you actually buff
Gives
this
what?
card, it gets the buffs. So when it dies, the pile will still get the buffs. So when you get it again, it will still get the buffs. So if you like triple buff it with the Root Dancer, and they kill it, when you reform it again, it will be still buffed. So it's a creature that you can put like a bombs in it more or less safely, and it will keep them.
Still, like, I see your point, but when you got 2 blood threshold, then with the Root Dancer example, that's 2 thresholds as well. That's something you're really not going to be getting
I
really
just
much.
put
I mean,
the Root
but
Dancer as
yeah,
an
I mean
example.
that's a good point because it's a good point. It will keep the buffs, so that's presumably anyway. So
it
Mythic,
should.
yeah, it should. But yeah, Mythic, anything to add?
I mean, I guess it's kind of cool if you throw like a bloater on it, and it's a 2/3 with life drain that doesn't actually ever die. But still, paying 4 to get it back is kind of obnoxious. Like the one they had for Magic the Gathering was it goes to the graveyard, pay 2, it comes back to your play, or to play, not your play. I mean, I guess it's, whatever. It comes back to play, and like that's 2 to get it back. So it's double the cost for basically the same thing. So it's not really. I guess if you're comparing the two, it's not as good, but it could be good in hex forms. Like Inquisition's the same card as Magic card, and it's much better in hex than it was in Magic. So maybe it's the same thing with this, but it doesn't seem that great.
Yeah, I don't think I would want to waste a blood on it, to be honest. I'd want to save it to something a lot better. But yeah, that's just my thoughts. All right, so on to the next card. Go ahead. Anything?
No, I was agreeing with you.
The art is great though. I like it a lot.
Yeah, the artwork on a lot of cards lately have been really awesome, and they've actually updated some artwork this patch as well, which we'll possibly be able to see. So next card is Servant of Shathak, I guess. So yeah, this is a
like Shack Attack. Servant of Shack Attack.
Shack Attack. Nice. So this is an interesting Sapphire card. It's a 1 cost 1 threshold flyer it's a 2/2. You can include this troop in your deck only if it contains at least 20 different card names among non-resource cards. So, pretty nice. I think that definitely see a lot of play. So, what do you guys? In decks that where you're running obviously unique cards, you're gonna probably include this. So, what do you guys think? Phoenix?
I think it's all right. I mean, I don't know how easy it's going to be to get 20 different names, and I guess if you're trying to specifically play this card, you're going to be able to do it. But maybe in a flight deck, it'd be fine. I mean, that'd always be nice to draw, especially if you have an air superiority on the board and no persecuting anymore. Oops, did I say that? Sorry. That's all I can say about that.
Yep. Indomi?
I think that it was 3/3 instead of a 2/2. you'll be more justificable to include 20 copies in your 20 different cards in your deck. I mean, well, it's not like super hard to do it if you're building some kind of control deck that you just want the answers for different answers that are a little bit niche. It's okay. But yeah, it's just a 2/2 for 1 flying. It's okay, but the cost is not going to see any play on unless you get it on field or something like that. And it's still rare, so you're not going to see it much. So yeah, just for the singleton format.
I mean, I think the card's insane. I mean, 20 different cards in your deck is not as hard as it sounds. I mean, most decks have like maybe, well, I don't even know, like 15. I don't know. I don't know the actual math. I'm not going to do that. But it's really not as difficult as it sounds. You just throw a couple of different 1-ofs or 2-ofs in the deck that do similar things. It kind of makes up for the inconsistency of not having 4 of every card. And also, a 1 cost 2/2 is just crazy because you like without turn 1, turn 2 air superiority, you have a 3/3 on turn 2. Like that's pretty. I mean, I'll take it. It's better than
like
that
turn 2
1 for 1.
Yeah, it's pretty damn good.
With flying too, it does evasion too. Like that's insane.
I don't agree with that. I mean, if
of course you don't agree with that. You want to play Judgment and Extinction in all your decks.
Yeah, it's a 1 cost. It will die to the first Judgment. No, but what I mean is that when people start putting decks, one of the first rules they'll say is like 9 cards, because 9 plus times 4 is whatever, and plus 24 resources you can get a deck. So you just need 9 different cards and 4 copies of them. So getting up to 20, it's like you only have like 12s on your deck. It's not even 12s. For everything, so it's not as easy as you put it.
I mean, I rarely play 4-ofs of anything. I play 3-ofs and 2-ofs and 1-ofs. This is my deal.
If you play 3-ofs, you are only up to like 12. So you have to play 2-ofs and you are like up to 18. You play 2-ofs of everything. So you need 2-ofs of everything and then a couple of 1-offs. I mean, something like a fire deck maybe, because you play a bunch of stuff, but I don't know.
Alrighty, on to the next card then. So Splinter of Azathoth. I don't know if I'm saying that right. Definitely not saying that right, but it'll do. I'll just call it Splinter of Az. So yeah, this is a nice card. No, I definitely couldn't say that. Alright, so enough shenanigans. Alright, so it's a 4-cost 3 threshold Sapphire card. It is a 3/4 flyer. And it has the one-shot ability where you can pay 2 and interrupt target card. If the card is interrupted this way, put it into its owner's hand. So not bad. It's sort of like having a free Buccaneer, but you can do it on anything that's being casted. Which also you're not going to full-on counter it and it goes to their grave, but you are going to be able to know, like say for example they try and counter Magic you. On something, you can then send it back to the hand, and you know that they've got that available then, and you can play around it. But yeah, also you could. I mean, I think it's pretty good, but Mono Sapphire is where it's going to be played pretty much. So yeah, Phoenix, what do you think?
I really like it. I think it's going to get a lot of play in bounce decks. Time Ripples, Buccaneers. And this, you're just maintaining board control pretty heavily, and it's a good way to set up a counter magic on something that's already been played. I know I'm going to try it, but I like it. Reversion's going to work well on it too.
Yep. So Indomie?
I think it's an insane tempo card, like really, really, really good. A 3/4 for flying for 4 that actually bounces anything, so it just counters their tempo completely. It's just insane. If you play turn 2 Ripple, turn 3 Buccaneer, turn 4 this guy, they're just going to pull their hairs off of frustration. Pretty much.
Yeah.
Then you could just really good.
Top it up with a Grelk as well.
Yeah, or Mastery of Time. Yeah, it's just insane.
Mastery of Time. Yeah, lots of
a 3/4 flyer for 4. I mean, the threshold is
Mono Sapphire getting stronger.
Yeah,
that's a good thing. So Mythic.
I mean, you guys said it already. I mean, it's pretty sweet. I originally thought he had to be voided when the card first came out. I thought already he had to be voided, so I thought it wasn't that great. But no, it doesn't. I know he doesn't have to be voided. It's just awesome.
Yep. All right, so I think we all agree it's pretty awesome. So we'll move on to the Briar Legion. So it's a 3-cost wild, 1 threshold. It's a 0/0, but it gets +2/+2 for each Briar Legion that entered play under your control this game. Now this card is tied in with is it the Briar Patch Legion? No, Conjurer. Sorry. So I guess we'll have a look at the Conjurer if you bring that up.
The Conjurer, yeah. It is.
Alright, so yeah, it's a 2-cost, 2 threshold wild card. It's a 1/2, and you can tap it to add a seed counter to the troop, and then it creates a Briar Legion for each seed counter on this card and shuffles it into your deck. So that's that's basically how you get those. Well, actually I'm not too sure here. They're not. I mean, they're not tokens, so you can
Briar
create
Legion
more.
is no token, yeah. You can put it in
Yeah,
your
but
deck.
yeah. So I mean, obviously you'd want to have at least 4 in your deck so that the actual Briar Legion itself's not going to just die if you were to run one of them.
No,
But,
I think,
yeah,
Well, this will be a 2/2.
yeah, it's a 2/2. The
It'll be a
first time you
2/2
play
for
it.
there.
Yeah, it'll come out as a 2/2.
Okay, yes, you guys are correct. Yep. So I reckon this is going to be pretty good. I don't know too much about the Briar Patch Conjurer, because I don't really like the idea of adding. I guess it's okay. I'll have to test
You're
it.
adding 3-cost 2/2s to the deck, and then each one gets better and better as you do
Yeah.
more of them. I mean, because she creates more and more every time she taps, so that's kind of crazy.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy.
I mean, she's
I'll
kind
have
of
to
bad
test it
late
out,
in the game, but early in the game is pretty sweet.
Phoenix, what do you think?
I think it's going to be good. I mean, you run it Wild Sapphire with a lot of draw in your deck, and you're going to be good to go. I mean, you draw 3 of them, and the third one's a 6/6. You're pretty good there. You run some maybe some Wild Auras to give them Trample or Crush, and it might work out pretty well.
Okay, so yeah, I'm just reading it again. So it's for each one that enters play. So that's pretty cool. You could use even Replicator's Gambit on it.
Yeah.
that'd be pretty nuts. But anything with Replicator's Gambit's pretty nuts. So just to everyone who doesn't know yet, that card is actually working. Replicator's Gambit was fixed last patch. So anyone who hasn't realized that yet, it's a lot of fun. So yeah. So Mythic or Endormi, you got anything else to say about these 2 cards?
Yeah.
The Briar Legion? Or...
I like Briar Legion. The first one is below Carve, but after that is pretty good. I think it's just a better version of Raptor, pretty much.
Didn't it used to be a 2/2 that got +1, that every time one came into play got +1/+1?
Yeah,
I think so. I
think
think
I think it used to be different.
Yeah, it used to be a little bit
Yeah.
different, but the concept.
I
was
think this
the
is
same.
probably better now. Yeah, I think this one's better now though, especially with the Conjurer. The Conjurer seems really sweet. I mean, even if you're not playing any Briar Legion in the deck and you're just making them off Conjurers, it's kind of okay. But I don't know why you would do that. But it's something you could do. I think in Mono Wild it's probably pretty sweet because you can Sensei to draw cards. You can then Ceremony to dig for the cards. So if you want to plan your deck around getting them, you can do so fairly simply.
It's also really important that it's not good to bounce this card because the first time you bounce it, you will get +2/+2. So bouncing it is not really an answer to this guy.
Yeah.
That's true, and that's something that Wild has struggled with is dealing with bounce. So that helps out a little bit.
I'm not too fond of the Conjurer though. I think it's okay, but the good thing about it is that you can float your deck if you want to or you don't want. So that's good. For example, with Raptor, you don't have an option. When you play it, it's going to float your deck with Raptors. But it's something I don't like, and this way you control it. It's a split
Yeah, if you need resources, you don't float your deck.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Another thing is that it's sitting in the sweet spot for inspiration decks too.
Yeah, that's true.
Mentalist inspires it, which could get pretty potent after a while. You start digging more of them.
Inspire it with Flight, it's insane. Like
Yeah.
insane.
Alrighty, anyone got anything else to add?
No.
I'll take that as a no. Alright, so we'll move on to the the gameplay changes here. So let's scroll down a bit. And alright, so
There's
first
some
change
interesting
we
things
got.
in here.
Yeah, there's plenty of interesting things. So lots of changes here. So Soul Marble has had its cost raised from 1 to 2, and that affects obviously the transformation states as well. I think this is a probably a good change. I mean, Soul Marble wasn't that hard to, especially if you had it turn 1, you could easily get that thing up and running. Resources, you're going to have it up and running probably by turn 5, or if you just go straight for it, you could maybe even get it sooner. Not going to bother doing the math there, but yeah, it's not it's not a big nerf where it's not going to be played anymore. It's still a very strong card, so it's not a big deal, but it will slow it down a little bit, but not much. So what do you guys think, Phoenix?
I think it's fine. I think that's probably in line with where it should be. It doesn't really screw up transforming it too much. The only thing I think it might affect is like life gain decks with paladins and stuff. Usually we get Soul Marble off first, or Scrivener, and then a paladin. And now you're going to have to decide whether you want to get out armaments or a paladin, or vice versa, or whatever. So it might change up early game for some white weenie decks, but other than that, I think it's fine.
Indomi?
I think this nerf does absolutely nothing. You can still get it on turn 5. And playing Marble turn 1, it wasn't a good play either way, because you can only get it on turn 5 either way. So yeah, I think it doesn't matter at all. And it's not going to impact anything. The only thing that it impacts is when you have 6 resources, that you could turn it the next turn. But now you have to for that to happen, you need 7 resources. But that's about it. Yeah, I think it doesn't matter.
Alright. Anything to add, Mythic?
Yeah, I mean, the only thing that was good about playing Marble turn 1 was using your resources every turn. But other than that, it doesn't really do anything.
Yeah.
No, yeah, but the thing is that turn 1 Marble is a pretty weak play. Because
yeah, it was using your resources, which is what you want to do.
Yeah, but it just didn't matter because you played turn 1 and turn 2 it has 2 counters, turn 3 has 3 counters, turn 4 it can only go up to 9 unless you ramp. So it was not the way to play it on turn 1. If you had a 1-drop, it was 10 times better to play your 1-drop than you were playing against control or something like that. So yeah, I think it is making it 2 cost does absolutely nothing.
Alrighty, so next card, Shelf Safe Sure Shot has had its attack raised from 2 to 3, so just a slight buff there. And it was already, in my opinion, a pretty nice card. You're getting 2 creatures for for the 1, and it's a 4 cost, 2 threshold. And so just a slight buff there, and they both get inspired by things like Mentalist and all that sort of good stuff. So yeah, just a good change there. So what do you guys think? We'll start with you, Mythic.
I loved the card before. Now you just get 4 power for 4 cost, which is just better.
Yep.
And 5 toughness for the same cost. So.
Yep. All right. Indomi.
I think it was okay before, and now it's just better. So that's okay. I mean, it's not going to be super awesome, but it's still good. Now it's better.
Yep. Phoenix, anything to add?
No, I think it's just a little boost, but it's I didn't play it before. I just thought it was a little weak, but I might try and fit it in somewhere now.
Yeah. Alrighty, so I'll just go through some of these a bit quicker. If you guys want to say anything specific about some of these, because some of them are just, like the next one, for example, Blood Crazed Zealot is, is a bit stronger. Its attack is now 5, its defense is 4. Makes it a bit better. There's not really much
That's
I
probably
think you guys would want to say.
reasons for that.
Yeah. So then the same. Well, Grimskull Sorcerer is a socketed card, so it is a bit more affected. It was you could do Swift Strike and all that sort of stuff on it. So this card is probably not as good anymore because it is still minus socketed. So it's definitely not as good as what it was. But yeah, probably won't see much play anymore. What do you guys think, Mythic?
I mean, didn't see it play before, so. The only thing good about before was that if you got it in sealed, you make a 2-1 Swift Strike, which is sweet. Now it's a 1-2 Swift Strike, which is kind of mediocre.
Yeah, exactly.
By mediocre, you mean really bad?
Well, I don't want to call names and stuff, man. I'm trying to be nice.
I mean,
is the gain life equal to its toughness?
it's major.
Is that
major?
that's major? Okay, so that still sucks. Yeah.
Yeah.
Horrible.
I mean, it's okay if you put it a +1/+1 gem because you make a 2-3-4-2. But yeah, super weak.
Eh.
Yeah.
You'd still rather
There's
2
better stuff you can be playing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Alrighty. Anything to add, Phoenix?
Nope.
Nope. All right. So here's something where it's actually changed quite a lot here. So Mimic is now a 2 threshold. So it's still 4 cost, but it's now 2 threshold, and it now reads: create a replica of target troop and put it into your hand. So you're no longer just copying the card and it comes, it's in play already. It now goes to your hand, and they've got this new replica system, which I don't know. Are we going to bring that articles up later on?
Yeah,
So
we'll talk about this later on.
We'll talk about that later. So yeah, they've got a new replica system, but yeah, Mimic. So it now goes to your hand. So it does make Mimic a little bit worse, but it also could, depending on what you're mimicking, could be a good thing. Like if you mimic, say, well, actually,
No. I think it does
I'm
worse.
trying to think. There's some interactions, when you creatures come into play, they've interplay effects will now be okay, but it is still probably a net loss overall
Does it change
for
the
the
threshold
card.
of the troop?
Yeah, it
Sorry.
doesn't have
It makes
threshold
it
anymore. Yeah.
makes it
It
colorless.
makes it, yeah, it makes
Oh, it makes it colorless.
yeah,
Oh, that's not horrible then.
It
It
makes
doesn't
colorless
if it copies the
artifact,
gem,
robot.
which, I mean, so you got, you can obviously now mimic, anything of your opponents, and you're going to be able to then play it out. So if they play something nice with like a, for example, a what's his name, the diamond, totally forgot him. Come on, save me here. 6 cost.
Gabriel?
Gabriel, that's the one. Yep. So that would be pretty decent because not only do you mimic, you're going to get both of those creatures when you play it out.
You got it about
Whereas-
the creatures now. When you play Mimic.
Yeah, but obviously they didn't. Yeah, I mean it was probably too.
It was
Too
really
good in
good.
that.
I like Mimic a lot. I won't say that. I think it was super good. And I really dislike this Mimic. I think they just make it
Probably not.
feed,
Like I said, it probably is a
artifact
net
decks.
loss.
Yeah, it's a net loss for sure. The only thing that is better now is with the Vulcanon decks or something like that. But it makes artifact,
Artifact.
robot, whatever. It just
Yeah,
means that it doesn't die to murder. But doesn't, not putting it into play is a huge loss. And making it double threshold is even worse.
The
yeah,
not dying to
I
murder
don't
thing's kind of cool though.
Yeah,
That's
but
kind of sweet.
Mm.
Yeah, but you cannot just mimic your own Grog and the same turn it just taps again.
Yeah,
that
I mean,
definitely
yeah.
sucks. It's definitely worse, but the not dying to murder is still kind of a thing to think about. It's definitely, I mean, again, far worse than just playing, well, now I got a Jadim too, thanks, bro. Like, it's still not as good as that, but, it's something that, it still has its place, I think.
I disagree because Mimic is not a basic action, so you play a troop and you respond with Mimic, and it's probably all your mana for the turn or almost all your mana. So you're going to take at least one swing before you can replay it. So yeah, no. For example, they play Uranaf, they get a troop. You don't have flyers. They swing with Uranaf, get another troop, and then you Mimic and then play Uranaf again. They just swing you for 5 or whatever, and got another troop. So I don't like it. I don't like the new Mimic at all. I think it's super weak compared to the last one.
It's pretty much just maybe if you have a deck you want to get more than one unique guy out. Yeah, it's definitely a net loss though.
Also remember, we're going back, but this doesn't copy gems, the troops anymore. Well, it didn't copy before because, well, I think it's back. But now it's absolutely not done copy. It doesn't copy buffs, nor debuffs, nor sockets. So you cannot copy like a buff totem, doesn't work, stuff like that. So yeah.
Like I said, it's far worse, but it definitely, there are going to be decks that want to play it.
Yeah,
for sure. Like, they're going to want their robots, they're going to want, a copy of a Jadim robot, like whatever. It's stupid, it's probably not going to be good enough, but there are going to be decks that want it. Not going to be good decks, but there are going to be decks that want it.
Anyone got anything to add?
I mean, maybe if you copy something like a Shroom Draw, that's probably okay, but it's just for cost the double threshold. But if you had something like that, it like creates a lot of creatures when it does play, even if it's shitty creatures, because they are all robots. It's good for your interactions. But I can only think
like an elite battle tech or something like that. That's really the only thing I could think of.
The elite battle tech is already robots, so that doesn't work. So something has to be something different.
Well, I'm saying you could copy the elite battle tech and then recast it, and you get 4 or 5 robots on the board as opposed to 2.
Yeah, something like that, but less costed. So yeah, I don't know. I don't like it at all. Maybe you
I don't
can
think it's
mimic
cool
like
either.
something like Wretched Brute, so you can get a robot every turn, but you cannot copy that. So yeah. I don't know. I just like it.
Oh well, let's go on to the next change. So Shield Trainer and Cracked Guard has basically been switched around, I believe. Is that the only like differences here? I mean, and maybe some attack and defense changes and stuff. But yeah, they I guess they wanted the Shield Trainer being the one who gives you extra health, which makes sense. And then the Kraken Guard is now the one giving you Steadfast. So I believe it's just a flat out switch between the two.
Is Kraken Guard's cost raised? Because it doesn't say cost, right? It says attack
They
raised
didn't
from 1 to 2.
say anything about costing.
That'd be a little crazy if it was still a
Because
one
if it's a
drop.
1 cost 2/2, that's insane.
No.
Well,
That's good.
I believe they would have changed the cost as well. So the Shield Trainer is probably now the one.
They should have
cost
said it
and-
though. I'm just saying.
No. This already
Make it a
happened
diamond
before.
deck now.
Yeah, they have swapped the cost. I'm sure about it
Yeah.
because there was the chain that they did to the flying pony, the China pony, I call it. That it was before a
Yeah.
1/1 with flying for 1 mana, and they swapped
Yep.
it to make it a 2/1 with flying. When you end this play, you gain 2 life. And I thought, oh man, if that's for 1, that's the best 1 drop ever. And yeah, nope, it was.
Best one drop ever. Come on, that's still not even that good a
It
opponent.
was better than the pony. If it's a 1 drop 2/1 flying, that when Inters play against 2 life, oh my god.
You better
than-
bite your
Alright.
tongue so hard right now.
Better
So
than-
let's move on. So some of these changes here, like the Fate Rack, it's just a wording change. Same with the Bolt Paw Wizard, just a wording change. If I am mistaken in any of these, just correct me. But yeah, I think most of these are just wording changes. So Zarlox as well for its troop. Yep, just a word change. Mortar Strike, I believe, is the same.
Mhm.
I mean, yeah, I think they're all just word changes. Which
Doppel Gadget got a slight buff.
Double Gadget.
Yeah, it now transforms
But it
into
get-
a replica, so it means that it's also a robot.
Yeah.
So you
I
can
mean,
just copy a supercharge and you can tap it to Vulcanon. Or
Oh,
you-
so
or you-
yeah,
or
so
you
it'll
could
turn
use
an
the cost of
artifact
Terrabot.
into a robot.
Yeah, it's a slightly buff.
Interesting.
Slightly buff.
So
That
yeah, I
is
think all of those. Sorry, you got a bit ahead of me there, but
Yeah, all the
Yeah, I
other
think-
one is the same. So it's a
yeah, they're all
double
just text
gadget.
changes. Yep.
Yeah, we're down to air superiority. That's the next change.
No, it's
It's not even a change. It's just a
Stormcall
bug
has
fix.
already
Well,
Stormcall
Rocket
is
Ranger,
Pretty sweet change.
Rocket Ranger did get changed, I believe, and oh yes, it's Stormcall.
They
So
got-
we'll go back to Stormcall here.
Yeah.
So Stormcall is now a 4-cost, 2 threshold. I think it's 2 threshold. Exhaust all opposing troops. Quick action still. So it's now instead of being able to just tap 1 troop for 1, you have to pay 4, and you'll get to So in certain situations it's better. In some situations it's not. I think it's fine. I think it's a fine change. What do you guys think? Mythic? Go
Okay. Well,
Go ahead.
I'll
Go ahead.
go. Thanks, Mythic. I mean, there's one different change in the way Hex plays different than Magic, and there is not a priority before people declare attackers. So this card is much weaker than in Magic, just because there's not that priority. Because you can exhaust them at the end of the end phase of their main phase, but that means that they can play another stuff because it will go back to their first main phase. So there's no a phase between that is combat phase, but before they declare attackers. So there's I don't know if I'm explaining myself.
No,
I'm pretty sure
that's
you
true.
can.
No, you can do it before
What?
damage. You can't do before attackers.
No, I mean
You can
do it
stop
during
on
their
attackers.
phase.
You can't stop before attackers.
I mean, what I mean is that you cannot play it after their first main phase.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. There's no pre-combat steps. That's what you're saying. Well, I'm just saying you're right. I'm just
That
saying.
makes this card weaker than it is. Well,
Yes.
the other version is weaker, and I think it will be fine. It was 3 costed. I think 4 is a little bit too much because it's not
I
like
mean,
a
it's like
rock
sleep.
that it doesn't make it on top again. So
Well, I mean, Sleep was a magic card that was 4 for a sorcery speed that made it not untap. The next one taps up, but you can only do it on your turn, so it's basically the same thing. I mean, just because that's quick action, it's kind of cool. It does suck that you can't do it before, like, you can't do it pre-combat, which killed me many a times in Limited, because I keep forgetting no pre-combat, and I go to tap things down with that white dude, and I just keep getting killed by it. But yeah, that does make it kind of suck, but it's still basically the same card as sleep, just
No,
a little.
but the sleep is better because you can attack first with
Yeah.
your empty, and they cannot respond because they won't tap on their turn. So it's way worse. So I think 4 is way too much for what this card costs. I think that the card that is similar to this one, I think is called Fucking Magic. I don't believe it's 4 costed.
Fork, I think, is 3 costed. I don't know.
Yeah, I think it's 3 costed or something like that. But yeah, I think 4 is way too much. And without the pre-combat step, it's weaker than in Magic, so I don't like it too much.
Yeah, I mean, it is nice to make it that you don't have to tap out on your turn to do something like this, like you would have to do with sleep. But so you also represent counter magic. But again, the fact that you have to do it on their turn before, like during their main phase,
Yeah.
makes it really bad because you can't even like well, I'm going to represent counter magic for a second combat step or for their first main phase or whatever because you have to do it on the first main phase. Like just tap something out afterwards.
Yeah, the first thing that pops into mind is that if they play in one eye open, and you just play it. You have to play it on the first main phase. So you play on the first main phase, you tap everything, and they say, "Okay, I use my hero power." They're fucked.
That's so good.
What's so good?
What you said was funny.
I mean, it's not funny. If you're playing against the one eye open and you throw a Storm Guard, it's not funny at all.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just completely dead. So yeah.
I mean, I'd laugh.
I'm pretty sure they will fix that. Like, there should be a stop phase there. Yeah.
Yeah, we have
Anyway,
the combat
Gets rid
phase.
of a lot of things.
Yeah, we have a different phase in combat in Hex than in Magic. There's an initial phase in combat, a priority in combat that we don't have in Magic. This is after combat, after blockers, I think.
Yeah, there's like a
Alrighty,
million for
Defensive
combat.
priority.
Anything to add, Phoenix?
Nope. I think Dormy covered it.
Yeah, if you play against one eye open, don't play a Star Call.
Alrighty, so next card that got a change is Rocket Ranger. So I believe its change is basically just needing one less artifact
For everything.
for the
Per
for every phase. Yeah. So that's quite relevant.
Beastly.
That's pretty good. Yeah, that's pretty nice.
Yeah.
You know how many times I've
So
had
when
a
you-
Rocket Ranger out with only 5 artifacts on board, and if you had that one more, you could kill somebody?
Yeah.
That 4
pretty nice.
automatic damage on attack is just ridiculous. Because it's before blockers are declared, it's before anything, so it's really nice. You get 2 or 3 of those out on the board, and it's pretty much game.
Mythic, anything to add?
I mean, I liked the card before, but I never really got a chance to do it because you needed a million artifacts to do anything. But now that they lowered it, maybe they'll have something cool to do.
Yeah.
I like the card before. It was terrible, but I like it because I think it's a really cool thematic and stuff. But now it's actually going. Maybe it's good because you probably have 1 artifact, and that's just you do flyer, which is decent for 3. I think it's 3 costed. So yeah, I think that I mean getting to the last phase is still you have to have a lot of artifacts, but getting to the first phase is like super easy, and the second phase is actually really easy too. Because with your charge power, if you're playing Bertram, getting to 3 artifacts is super easy.
Yeah.
You could mimic him, and then he counts as an artifact, and then he counts for another artifact
True.
for the other one. Just saying, mimic for the win.
and Mimic is still terrible. Yeah.
I'm gonna make that deck just for Endormi.
Let's all just make Mimic decks.
I mean, Mimic is okay if you mimic something like Double Gadget, maybe it's better. I don't know. I think it's terrible. Yeah, fuck it. It's terrible.
Oh, you could mimic it, play it, doppelgadget it, and you have a million of them, and they all do things.
Yeah,
Well,
and
it
then they
does
play
make-
Extinction,
Broke the game.
and there goes your.
Broke the game.
If you're doing, yeah, well now with the changes to copies, all being replicas, artifact replicas, that for example, there are some good speed troops that you can use replicators Gambit on. Now this guy will be getting the benefit from that because anything you do replicate is going to be an artifact. So you've already there's your troops right there. So that would work nicely with the Rocket Ranger in the deck as well.
For example,
in that way you've
Then a
uh,
artifact
you
Blaze
could
Elemental.
basically you've got for example the Blaze Elemental target. You've got the 4-cost guy. I've lost the name. But he's the
Scrap holder.
flying guy. Scrap holder. And then you've got,
Buccaneer.
other Buccaneers as well. Many targets that you can replicate, and that's now going to help out if you do draw them again. Obviously, in most cases, it's just going to be GG if you do. But if not, maybe the Rocket Ranger then comes along and finishes them off. So
Mimic
what's
is
the
still
next
bad.
changes here? Yeah, Mimic's still bad. Okay. So just some bug fixes there to some cards. Distress Signal, Sliver, Air Superiority, just some fixes here, Triumvirate. But okay, so on to a big change here.
Oh,
This
the
is a really big
triumvirate
one.
change is actually important because before it was
So,
backed over.
Yeah. So,
This is huge.
It was huge.
Persecute is gone. It's left the game. It is no more. So no more -3 for 2. Yeah, I mean, I'm not too surprised. Blood is very strong at the moment. It still has some things that need fixing. Inquisitor, Ruby Gem, namely the biggest problem. As everyone
wink.
knows. I mean, anyone who's been playing the game knows that it is very strong. But yeah, with Persecute now going down, with just leaving the game, I mean that now makes it so. I mean, a lot of troops now are back in the game and a lot harder to remove. So that's like for example, I really hated getting a Mentalist out turn 3 and then just Persecute, great. You're expecting, you're just like, yeah, please don't have one. I want to at least inspire one guy before it dies, and so that's quite relevant because if they they're not. For example, if you've gone first and you're getting a Mentalist out in turn 3 and they're holding open 2 and they just Persecute, at least now they have to wait till the next turn to like murder perhaps. Or if they've got an Inquisitor, but that'll hopefully change sometime soon. But so what do you guys think? Mythic, we'll start with you.
I mean, I'm sad. I like Persecute. I was a big fan of Persecuting things because I like playing I like playing blood aggro decks. So losing Persecute kind of bones those decks a bit. But it's good to not have a million removal spells in your blood control deck. So like Inquisitor, Persecute, Murder, Extinction. It's like an aggro deck can't exist in that kind of format. So it opens the door for a little bit more decks. But still, I always like Persecuting things.
Yep. Enjoy me?
I'll say one thing, and I was going to say that I called this. I call it every fucking patch, and I would say that the Persecute got changed or it got double threshold, it got removed, and all the people were saying, especially all you guys, what? It's not going to get double threshold ever, it's not going to get removed ever. So, well I was right.
Persecute is...
I was right, I'm just going to say that. I was
you're right. Okay, you're right. But I'm saying Persecute is the problem. The problem is the million removal spells Blood has currently.
I agree.
Persecute itself is a fine card. It didn't need to be nerfed. The fact that Inquisitor exists is why Persecute really had to be nerfed.
Yep.
The thing is
now
that...
it's actually...
Also... Go ahead.
Sorry. Go ahead.
Okay.
No, go.
Okay, what I was going to say is that now Mentalist is super strong again. And as Havoc mentioned, all the troops that were 3 defense and were like not as great when Persecute got introduced, now they are live back. And even though they still have the damn Inquisitor, it's super good because they now have less ways to deal with them. And I'm amazed that Bella didn't the back once yet.
One thing I was just going to add is, it's not more so like Persecute probably could have stayed around and it would have been fine, but just Blood has way too many cards that give advantage pretty much immediately. You got Corpse Flight giving you 2-for-1s, Extinctions, just way too many things. Inquisitors, as everyone's saying, is the main problem. So I'm surprised to see Persecute being changed and Inquisitor not yet. So maybe what they're planning on doing, like Inquisitor could probably stay around, but the gems do need to be taken into account when looking at that card specifically.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Phoenix, anything to add?
I'm kind of split down the middle on this one. I mean, every blood deck that I played, I guarantee you it had 4 persecutes in it, just because of how strong it was early game. But I'm happy because I hate playing against blood decks that persecute me on turn two or turn three when I drop a mentalist or something like that. So it's fine. Blood has enough removal effects as is. So hopefully it'll just stop a little bit of the hate that's happening for me when I'm playing against blood decks.
Oh, one last thing. Now, I think it was also coming when they changed the murder card, that they reduced it into 1 threshold. Because having a 4 removal in blood that is super easy splashable to other colors was probably way too much. So yeah, I was thinking that they will up the threshold to persecute to double or just remove it. Because they cannot have so much splashable removal, I think. Just as they put a root dancer, double threshold and other good cards. Just having 8 is way too much, I think. And that good of the removal.
So, yeah, any of you guys got anything to add? Take that as...
I did, but I forgot it.
Well, that's quite useless. All right, so we'll just if you think of it, just say, and we'll.
Oh, well, it's.
But we'll just move on. I mean, so Field the Poppies got removed. No one cares. Like honestly, no one cares.
I know one.
Come on,
guy
I feel the
cares.
Poppies deck was so good though. It was broken.
Yeah. The AI is missing this card.
You never had, like the one that you never had at all.
You mimic Field of Poppies, and then you just keep poppying the fields, and then just pop everything.
No, but I mean, Polonius is going to be super sad because he played Field of Poppies every game in the start of the alpha, and he just played Field of Poppies because he liked Field of Poppies, even if you didn't have any creatures. You just play Field of Poppies. So he's going to be really sad. So a bit of silence for the AI.
Yeah, poor AI. Oh well. It's one less card that it can stop doing silly plays with, so that's alright.
But the art was so good.
Sorry, go ahead.
The art was so good. I like it a lot. I like the Field of Poppies art.
It was a Field of Poppies. It wasn't that great of art.
But I liked it.
It's like a picture of like a field, and like that's our art now. Cool. See you later.
I mean, if they put like Field of Poppies imagine on top of Victoria's art, I'm completely fine with it. I like it 10 times better, so.
It's true.
Alright, so
the transvestite Victoria.
No comment. Alright, so Carrion Blob, Evolve, and Baby Yeti have all got. Just Baby Yeti and Carrion Blob have some new artwork or art upgrades.
That's awesome. I can get behind that. The Baby Yeti art was ugly, dude. That thing was gross.
Yeah. I'm sure that anyone who saw the Corey Jones's blog, the post that was a few days ago, will have seen the new art frames. We don't know when we're going to get those, but there's also, I think the middle card that was shown there was the new Ruby Pyromancer as well.
It's not.
No, it's not. They confirmed it wasn't.
Calling confirm it's not Ruby Pyromancer.
Yeah.
Someone said on chat.
That art was awesome.
Yeah, I thought it
it was a nice artwork for that one, but anyone who hasn't seen the blog post, I will post a link in the chat once I find it. But yeah, so on to the next change. What do we got here? Niblin Hunting Pack is now an uncommon. Whoop-de-doo. Evolve is now a common. Whoop-de-doo. I mean, obviously these are things that's going to affect limited play.
Everyone play with Nibble Hunting Pack because I still thought it was terrible unlimited. I mean, it's not terrible, but
it was a very, very bad totem, but you had nothing better to do with your resources, and wild you just throw it in.
And now you just make it uncommon. It was common before, so now uncommon. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm just gonna be mad when I draw that in a pool now.
Well, I usually get like 17 every pool, so.
I mean, it's a hunting pack.
Now I'll get less. Yeah, I mean, not that big a pack. That's a fucking hunting gang. I'm sorry for cursing. I couldn't help it. I was just angry.
Picky hunting pack.
All right, so in what I was saying just before to do with the blog post, the link is now in the chat. So anyone who hasn't seen that, definitely check it out because the new art frames are absolutely amazing. So I don't know if you have, if you want to open it up maybe in Dormy and actually show it on the stream, like the image there. Because that's actually that's a really big change
Yeah.
to the whole game as a whole.
Can
So
you
if you want to,
share the link with from Skype? And it's going to be bad, but I'll try to make.
people can wait.
Yeah, I was
It'll
really
be
hoping
worth
we'd
it.
get the
It'll be worth
forms.
it.
Be patient, damn it.
I was really hoping we'd get those new art things. in
Yeah, I was
here
really
now.
really hoping that would get them, just so I could sit there and just drool at the new art.
I was just gonna touch myself too, but it just really works too.
Okay, so
Well,
you can see there.
I was gonna say that, but I thought I'd.
No PG today. Not with Mythic on the channel.
Yeah, it doesn't happen.
Yeah,
I have zero
unfortunately, you cannot
filters.
check it very well, but it looks super cool. And there are some
Just trust us.
some bubbles here. That probably means that for the rarity and they are PvE or PvP cards. They
Pretty
look
sexy
really nice.
friends.
Also, if you see that the results now it's on an hexagon.
If you actually scroll down on the blog post there in Dormy, you'll have a bigger picture at the bottom.
Oh, okay. Nice.
You
Yeah,
can
this
probably
is
just
not
open
really Roy per monster. So
Yeah, I think it's. I mean, it would fit. I mean,
yeah. So maybe it's a unique card from Ruby. Lady.
probably not an art version.
No, because they said it is not Ruby Pyromancer.
Sorry? Oh, so someone's already said that, have they? Like,
Yeah,
confirmed.
Colin said it's not a.
Collins
Ruby.
of it.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
So maybe
But,
it's
I
like,
yeah,
feel like
so-
the blood's way more purple now, though. That's cool. Thinking about that.
I'd be
like that.
interested to see what they've done with Diamond. Like on the current Diamond cards, it's like a black, where the text is. I wonder if they've actually made it, similar theme to what they've got there now, where it's like, they got the gradient there. I would imagine so, but yeah, it definitely is a huge improvement. I really digging the new, the new frames there.
It looks more professional. The ones we have now kind of look like what anyone could make. This one looks like, well, this is like a big game feel.
They also
which is pretty
spoiled one little thing with these frames. It does any creature cannot have more than 12 thresholds because there are little dots for every threshold. It's like
Well, I
they are
hope they're
below
at
it.
12 thresholds. I wouldn't quite sure what 12 thresholds anyway.
I'm saying they can only be max of 12 thresholds here in this art. So unless they change that, we're not going to see something like that. I mean, if they post an unglued format like similar to Magic that with just fan cards, 12 thresholds may be a thing. The big
But
I mean,
might,
13 would be too
uh,
much anyway, so that's fine. 12 is a
99,
good number.
99.
13 is way too much.
Yeah, I agree.
Just saying.
So I'll just quickly read out. Like, don't worry about changing the screen. You can leave that up. But there's some known issues in the current patch. So the tournament chess clock has been temporarily switched to 30 minutes per game to account for a known issue. So that means you no longer have to worry about your timer. If you're using up too much in the first game and you're just going to lose to time in the second and the third, perhaps, you're not going to have to worry about that because you're going to have 30 minutes per game. Also another issue, cards that bury cards from a deck visually do not show the correct card that is being buried. Which
Yeah, that's super annoying.
I'm sure
That's
a
a
lot of
pretty big
people
one.
would have... yeah, it's a pretty annoying bug because sometimes you're like, oh no, I've lost that card, but actually it wasn't that card.
Yeah. No, but it's
So,
really
yeah.
noticeable when it happens because this was on the patch before and it played some mill. And it just, for example, mill like the same camera like 10 times.
I
So
milled 15 Rage Fires from my deck one time.
yeah,
Milled 4, they shuffled back in my deck the next thing. Like, they weren't in my graveyard anymore, then milled 4 again, then shuffled back in, then milled 4 again.
I think that was
like,
me that did that to you.
It might have been. I think it was. I was like,
There was one game where you had like 5 or 6 Rage Fires showing.
yeah, it was
Yeah.
insane.
the,
But what really sucks about it is that you can't tell what you have left in your deck anymore. Like,
Yeah.
if they mill you, you're like, okay, well, I still have, 3 more of this guy, 1 more of this guy. And you're like, well, I don't know,
Whatever.
maybe I'll draw
Yeah.
something cool. That's the biggest part, is the not knowing what you have left in your deck anymore.
There's also one other known issue, which is troops with Invincible incorrectly ignore uniqueness. So that's the known issues. But yeah, that's as far as that goes. That's the end of the patch notes. So I don't know if you want to now bring up some of the articles there where it talks about
what article do you
replicas and
want to
stuff.
go up? I have the
We'll probably just go straight to
breakdown
go
or
back again.
the other one or development notes.
I think go to the one which has the replicas. We'll go to that now.
The one that has the replicas, I think this one.
The breakdown.
This is all new to me because I didn't see this before. So that's sweet.
Oh yeah,
Talking about-
we'll talk first about this, the new features about the stack changes.
Yep.
By
I'll
the
let
way,
you-
I really
go-
like the
go
art
ahead.
of Servant Shack Attack because it looks like Krang from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Okay,
Just throw it out there. Got Krang as card art.
good for you, Mythic. Good for you.
Just throwing it out there, man.
But yeah,
So
that
what
has
it-
been quite a change in the stack, and I'm saying that I'm loving it. If I read it correctly and I'm not mistaken, I'm loving it.
Yeah, so basically, what they've done, with the new, they've now basically finalized how they want the stack to work with certain cards. So, for example, in what you can see on the screen, the Fang of the Mountain God, the effect there won't go on the stack. Same with the Spearcliff Pegasus. Those type of effects that are not targetable won't go on the stack. But then things like Bombsmith, because it is targetable, will go on the stack. Giant Caterpillar, while it's not targetable, it is a activated power. It will now go on the stack, which I think wasn't. So now you can react to it trying to be transformed, basically. So if they try and transform it, you could potentially burn before that resolves, or whatever the case may be. But just now, you can now react to tapped effects and stuff like that. So it'll be interesting to see how that actually plays out. Any of you guys got anything you want to add?
Yeah, I have one question, and this is going to be like the Scrivener Paladin interaction, because that's a big one. If it goes to the stack or it doesn't go to the stack.
I mean, from what they're saying, it shouldn't,
not
right? Because
targeted.
it's not targeting anything.
Shouldn't.
so
Yeah, I mean it shouldn't
go.
go to the stack, but that's the only one interaction that I think that it may.
It should go to the stack. I feel as though because it's
Yeah.
way too powerful as it is. Like
Which
without
card,
persecuting
sorry?
like that's kind of.
If
crazy.
you play Scrivener
Paladin.
and you play Paladin, it won't go to the stack and it will become a 3/3 automatically.
I would say based on what they've set it for, it won't go to the stack still.
Yeah, it won't go to the stack, but that's I think the only change that they may want to look around. But all the other stuff, it looks amazing, because the only thing that goes to the stack that doesn't go to the stack is like the pings of your shuffle troops, or like the Anther Chosen that goes to shuffle more cards in your deck. So I think that's super nice.
Yeah.
That all the stuff goes to the stack again on step 1 or 2, 3, two things. And yeah, the only problem I see is with the Scrivener Paladin combo, that you cannot burn the Paladin in response to the gain life or something like that.
Yeah. No, it's definitely a valid point, but we'll just have to see what they decide to do. I think for now, though, they're probably just going to leave it as is, and if they think it's too strong in the future, they may change it. So let's, unless anyone has anything else to want to add there, we'll move on to replicas.
But it's amazing. This change is amazing. I love it. And I think everyone that play Magic loves it too. But they did like they changed up the stack. We want to have everything there, and we want to be able to answer everything, even if it's one every 200 games.
I mean, again, if they do keep it as is, we'll probably get over it eventually. Because we still like Hex as is, and we'll deal with it. But it would be nice to be able to play the exact same game as Magic the Gathering, just with better things than Magic has.
All right, so moving on to replicas here. I'll let Mythic. You can take it away. Go ahead.
At the read, man, that's not fun.
Yep. You have to read. Sorry.
I'm gonna read just word for word, or just tell me what replicas are. 'Cause
No,
replicas
well,
are
just we briefly touched upon it. Just go into a bit more depth there, if you like.
All right. So they're saying when you copy a card from now on, like with Mimic or Replicator's Gambit, it's going to become an artifact as opposed to becoming an actual exact copy of that card. So it says it says here a replica loses all thresholds and becomes an artifact. A replica always gains a subtype of replica in addition to other types, which isn't really much of anything, but whatever. A replicator always becomes a robot in addition to other card types if it's a troop. And a replicate never has uniqueness. So if you play a replica of Ozawa, it will have two Ozawas as opposed to just killing each other, which is kind of sweet. One thing that just came to mind when I was reading the replica things is if you Replicator's Gambit what's his name? War Mechanist? That's a ton of damage. Just saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No one else is
Definitely
excited about
relevant.
that.
I'll definitely. I try pretty much everything that's viable with Replicator's Gambit. I will be trying it. I love the card too much. But yeah, but that change will definitely make certain things a lot better for for copying stuff and. But yeah, Replicator's Gambit will have some unique interactions there, so that's pretty cool.
I mean, if you could replicate this Gambit Lake Hill, and you get all the threshold you want.
That is true.
That's true. Yeah, you get 1 million thresholds, and
Then
she
it's
then
probably a good way to.
probably.
To get to 05, yeah. To get all the thresholds.
Then you just start playing some Midnight Shepherds, and you're good to go.
Yeah.
Yeah, then your deck actually works.
Yeah,
And actually, you can
that's
just kill
still a
your
lot
own
of,
Link Cell, and then you just get it back with the mini Shepherd, and you get another 7 Link Cells. And yeah, it just goes over and over and over and over again.
What's more cool is really to if you're playing a Blood Sapphire controller, you can now copy an Urnaz and get 2 Urnazes on the field, which is again, it's gonna take 3 turns to actually get that off, but still kind of cool. It's a nice fast clock on them.
Yeah,
again,
but that way, just like a worse Call of the Grave, more or less. So the only thing that the different thing with the replicas, apart from it being an artifact and a robot, is that it doesn't change copies any gems, nor buffs, nor debuffs. Mythic didn't cover, and that's a really good point.
Oh well, I didn't read that part. You said I wanted to read everything.
Yeah, well, we did. I think we may have mentioned that earlier, but yeah, you don't
You
get
said it earlier, yeah.
Same with Mimic how it works now or how it did work. You don't copy the sockets or the buffs, so it's still that's something they've decided to keep it like that, and then in the future they are going. They've said that they will be. You will see cards in the future that will copy the buffs, the gems, all that sort of stuff. So it'll copy the card as it is on the field, and you'll definitely see that sort of stuff in the future. But for now, they've decided to go for this replica. Sort of like it's sort of like a keyword, I guess. But in the future, you'll be seeing direct copy effects, which will be cool, probably in a later set. But yeah, so that's the replicas. If you want to read up more on those, just head on to the Hex TCG website, and there's the breakdown section.
I just linked it there. So.
Yep, the link is in the chat. So I think we're pretty much covered everything there. I mean, there's also the development notes article on the website.
Yeah.
So you got 2 articles there.
Why they changed the post
Yeah.
queued.
Yeah.
Oh, there's also one important news, that is that they're going to open a balance feedback forum. You can read about in the Hex TCG development stuff at the end. So if you want to cover that a little bit.
Yep. So they're going to have. I'm just having to look at this myself here, but they're monitoring. They've been monitoring cards, how much players have been using them or not, and making adjustments accordingly. So they're basically giving us the player balance feedback area, which is now in the Hex Alpha discussion forums. So that will be a place where you can hop on and voice your opinions on the balance of cards. So this is where now everyone in the chat go into this forum, make a thread titled Inquisitor, and get your opinions in there.
And after you finish that, get a thread and call it Mimic. Right there, just for me.
Yeah, and start crying how Mimic is crap, just for Endure Me.
Yeah.
So yeah, basically just try to keep your discussions focused on the card concerns or any combinations, and don't troll or anything like that. Try to keep it mature discussions. Do your best there. Yeah. So no mythics allowed.
I don't go there. I don't go to the forums, man. It's stupid.
Yeah.
Well,
they should put a warning there, because that forum is going to get full of whiners. But yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I just saw a forum post the other day. Doppelgadget plus Eternal Guardian 2 is OP. I was like, that's stupid. Mimic plus Guardian is the same thing. A, B, you're dumb. So just shut up. I never understand what these people even do with their lives.
There is a bit of a difference
and
there.
About it.
Well, there is a bit of a difference saying Mimic does the same thing, because now it doesn't, obviously, but the way Doppel Gadget is something you can be using from turn 3 up to the point where you then finally get your Guardian or out. So you could use it to copy a Drew attack in, then change it to something else, and change it to something else, and keep doing various things with it. And then once you've got the Guardian out, you're just like, sweet, what you going to do? I mean, it's not overpowered though, because it's definitely not overpowered because it requires work to get to to stay alive that long potentially, for starters. But so one thing to note with this player balance feedback forum is that it is quite important that if you have some concerns, like I made a thread last week about blood, and I still have the main thing, as I've said before, is the Inquisitor. It definitely, everyone has concerns with it. I think most people agree that it needs something done. So if someone doesn't make a post, I'll probably make one. But it is important to just post your opinions, because once the game goes into PvP, open or closed beta even, and you have your collection and you can start spending money, they'll be no longer changing cards. They'll have to start banning, which is not ideally what we want. So, now's the time to make your voice heard. So, definitely go make some posts if you have any concerns or suggestions. And, that's about it for that.
You just make a post saying Mythic Fish Lounge okay, and that's completely right.
So, we'll just get Mythic banned from the game? Don't worry. No Hex for Mythic.
But yeah, now I think it's time to plug our future events.
Yeah, one of them.
Yeah, so...
Alright, Phoenix hasn't said much in a while, so we'll let him do it.
Okay.
Alright, so we're doing a tournament coming up March 1st and 2nd, and it's going to be a tournament of 4 teams. Each team is going to have 3 different streamers on it, and it's going to be a winner stays on format. So like, the first player for Team A plays the first player for Team B, and whoever wins stays and plays the next person on that other team. It's going to be a lot of fun. A lot of great people are involved. Tata and Neo and Crone and Mantic, G Prime, all those guys that you love watching on the streams is going to be there. It's going to be a lot of fun. We're excited about it, so check it out.
Yeah. In addition to that, it's also going to be live showcasted, which is always nice.
Yes.
Yeah, Mythic is saying hi because he's one of the guys that is going to shotcast. But
a lot of shouting mostly, not casting, just essentially yelling.
Yeah, he's going to be there doing stuff. But yeah,
channel the Soldak.
Yeah, it is like more close. That is this Saturday at 11 p.m. GMT +1, which is 5 Mythic's time, which I don't know what time zone it is. Maybe it's a little bit early. I think it's 4:30 Mythic's time.
You said 4:30 Mythic time, yeah.
Yeah. 4:30
That's a new
Mythic's time.
standard time.
I don't know what.
It's a new standard Mythic time.
Yeah, Mythic standard time. I don't know if it's the East Coast or West Coast, so someone can confirm. I just called them.
East Coast.
Yeah, so East Coast is going to be 4:30,
What
and we are going to do a dual view match, and it's probably going to be G Prime versus Mantic, and we're going to shotcast that, and in a similar fashion as Havoc versus Tata. We're really excited, and hopefully you like it.
I might like it.
And yeah, Mythic start time is going to be a thing. Just wait.
That's what we do. It's the only kind of time, really.
We'll probably make a post in the forums soon enough, because we need to completely confirm everything. But yeah, you can expect it at.
There's a post in the forums now. Just yeah.
It's right in the forums. Okay.
Yes, I was put in the forums like last week.
I mean for this event of Saturday. For the
for Saturday.
Yeah.
No,
Yes, no.
That's not there.
Okay. So, any extra remarks?
Alright, so one thing I will say before we all head off and we say our goodbyes is that I believe the servers are up.
Don't say that yet.
Oh my god, you are such an asshole. You are such an asshole.
Oh no! Oh, guys,
I was trying to get on
realize,
before I start streaming.
Guys, it's not like we have thousands of viewers and all of a sudden we're not going to get on because the servers are full. There's 22 people. calm your tits. All right, calm your
That's
tits.
close to
My tits
1,000.
are never calm.
They're excited.
My tits are always
They're-
out
my-
of control.
They're jovial.
So yeah,
All
I
right,
also
so,
think that
Jovial tits.
before we go, that Mythic is going to play Kron in his internal STG Pro tournament. I think it's today after he
Yeah,
logs
apparently
in.
like an hour from now, and I have no idea what I'm playing now. It's my entire deck got shattered.
Yeah, if you want to see Mythic punting, go to his stream. He's probably going to start streaming soon.
Who else been punting and going to stream every day? I mean, I punt every day.
Yeah, nothing new, but
At
yeah.
least once a day.
Just a standard Mythic. If you want to see a standard Mythic, just go today. You can stream him. If you like what you see, please follow us. You can also check our streams. I think they're all below in the descriptions. So yeah, give them a go. And we'll see you in this channel on Saturday. So anything else, or I'll just put the video again and finish this.
Well, I think
I
we're
wanna say
done,
bye.
and I just want to say, thanks everyone for coming by and stopping by and watching. But also, I also lied. The servers aren't up, so
Yeah, they're not up.
sad
You
face.
should also maybe show the video for the streamer tournament if possible.
I don't have it, but if you give me the YouTube link, I can.
It's just put it in the forums here. You can just copy the.
Can you? Did you put it on Skype so I can put it?
I'll get it, dude.
Okay.
Maybe
Well,
do
in
all
that
of it.
time, I'll say bye to everybody that came out and checked us out today. It was my first patch preview. I had a good time. All you guys kick ass. We love doing what we do, and we're here because of you guys. So check us out. Mythic's going to be streaming later. I'll be streaming later after him. And hopefully I can drop like 30, 40 of those Briar thingies on somebody's face.
Yeah, I'll be going up shortly. Once the I'll probably go up right after this, and you could watch me try to log in a million times. And then eventually I'll play something. Hopefully.
Probably go
Potentially.
on prior to this.
Yeah. Well, I'll just play the introduction video. Also, if you have any feedback, please send us a PM or just on Twitter or anything, or to the Hextechs at gmail.com for any feedback that you think that anything that you want to see improved. So yeah, and see you on Saturday. Bye bye, guys.
Bye-bye.
And now shut up
Peace.
because I'm putting the video.
I want to shut up.